All right. So I've already said a lot of things now about research that has been done, and I would like to envision it actually like an experience we have made at Energy Circles, and give you a different kind of perspective and what self-management can actually also create. So I'm Tine. I'm a partner of Emma at Energy Circles. I work in the oil and gas and in the textile industry, and practically try to change those industries to the positive from the inside out. And I'm very passionate about self-management and what it can bring. So to start with, I would like to ask you guys a question. And to make it really practical, I would like to give you a couple of options, but just to get you know a bit better, and just raise your hand what appeals to you most. So, what gets you out of bed in the morning? Is it a safe income? Is it maybe your children?
Yeah.
Is it maybe the earth or the environment?
People. People.
Yeah. Or is it career, personal growth? Do you maybe have different kind of motivations what gets you out of bed in the morning? You want to share it with somebody?
Nerds.
Sorry?
Learning.
Learning. Yeah. So development, personal growth also. Something else? Life. Life. Oh, that's a nice one. Yeah.
Art. Something.
Great, beautiful. So what gets me out of bed in the morning is it has to do with why I'm here today, and it started practically. When I entered the business world, I felt like that traditional management approaches. You have to know I have a business administration background, so I went to business school, and it really drained energy out of me. And that was not the worst thing. The worst thing was that it drained energy out of people that are really close to me, and a bunch of burnouts, even worse. So I saw it's breaking people, and I figured, well, it's not breaking people, it's also breaking the world and the future. But it also brings maybe really great opportunities to build on that and to make it better, right? So I saw it also, I wanted to dig deeper into it, and I did some research about it. So I figured, I came across Gallup's State of the Global Workplace research, and 85% of employees are either disengaged or actively disengaged. And with that, Gallup means, like, actively disengaged means it's 18% of the 85, and they're actively boycotting what the 15% that are actually engaged and passionate about their job and bringing the organization forward, that they're actually boycotting those 15%. And what struck me was that 67% of employees that are disengaged, they said either they felt a couple of times or always really burn out at work. And this research was conducted in 155 countries around the world with different kind of industries and organizations. And I was like, oh wow, this is not just my surrounding, right? It's everywhere. So, and then I tried to kind of like, I wanted to understand what's happening. And I also saw it like a lot in like close relationships, like with my grandparents and parents, for example. I saw that they had very different kind of values and value systems and needs. So Carlo already touched Maslow's pyramid, and I just made it a bit nicer. but practically, my granddad, he used to tell me, don't trust anybody in this world. So about collaboration and co-creation was like practically already off the table. So, but I started to understand, I mean, my grandparents, they survived World War II. They were really much in a survival mode. It was about safety and fear-driven. And those values are incorporated in the values of their generation. And those values they brought onto my parents, and they brought those values onto me in a lighter version. But then I also, I was like, okay, but this is great, and I haven't experienced World War II, and I feel safe, and I'm really grateful for it. But I would like to build on it. And I see myself in the bottom of the pyramid. It's about, I want to be at my full potential. I want to be at my best, and I want to contribute to the world like this. So if I would not have the other needs met, then I would also not be in the peak of the pyramid, of course. But then I understood and I thought, wow, in the business world, traditional management approaches, they are often very fear and safety driven. Like if we talk about control and not trusting. In fact, Raima and I, we gave a lecture at a business school, and there were 30 people in the room, and we were talking about co-creation and collaboration, and they laughed at us, and they said, do you think I'm actually trusting anybody in this room? This is all competition. I was like, okay, wow. So, but how are we moving forward with that, you know? So, what I found out for us in our organization, what we found out in Energy Circles is that we are all different, right? We are all, I mean, yes, we're equal, but we're not the same. We are all on a different kind of journey in terms of personal development. And I think we should start really meeting those needs in our business world nowadays and make personal development first priority. And what we feared is we implemented self-management, and we didn't know at that time that this tool would be so powerful and actually impact us so much in our life and how we view life and business life, because it all comes down to one life anyways, right? We have not been given a work life and a social life. We have been given one life. So this has been a very exciting journey, I have to say, in what kind of perspective change we went through as individuals and as an organization. And you can really also make it really practical. I mean, we have challenges where at business school we're talking about, okay, you have to engage employees, you have to, get commitment, and all those kind of things, they're automatically tackled then as well. We have an increasing commitment in engagement, in innovation, co-creation, collaboration, all the things we are seeking for. So, I would like to, let you guys go and just with a question, because I think it makes sense to ask yourself that question, every other day, maybe not every day, but what gets you out of the bed? What gets you out of bed in the morning? And maybe a couple of things I said might add to it. And so that's it.